Can I beat Pokemon SCARLET with each gym leader's best Pokemon? Yes, but that's not the real question, is it? That's never been the real question. The real question has always been, what would it look like? What would it look like to use the game's own strategies against it? What does the process of finding each member of the team really entail? And how deep down the Gen 9 rabbit hole can we go? Matching movesets? Sure. Matching tera types? Let's find out. Every good challenge deserves a good set of rules and goals, and these were mine. I started my stream on December 6th, 2022, and set out on my journey. I picked Sprigatito as my starter and named it Subscribe, which is what you should do right now. I then spent a good chunk of time knocking out the research for the stream, including capture locations and where to find each move. The first Pokemon I checked off the list was Larry. Larry's Staraptor knows Facade and Aerial Ace. Facade is the TM that Larry gives you upon defeating him, and Aerial Ace is learned at level 28. Up next was Grusha. Grusha's Altaria knows Ice Beam, Dragon Pulse, Moonblast, and Hurricane, none of which would come easy. Then I found Rhyme. Rhyme's Toxtricity knows Discharge, Hex, and Hyper Voice. I was really not looking forward to this. With 3 Pokemon on the team, I went off looking for Flabébé. I looked, and I searched, and I quested for close to half an hour, and then I gave up. Instead, I got in touch with my good friend Julie. You see, Julie had purchased Pokemon Violet, which has the version-exclusive Mischievous. Julie jumped on stream, and within minutes, I had the 4th member of my team. Drivu? Not Iono. And since I couldn't change the name after the trade, I couldn't use this Mischievous in gym battles. I decided to level up Larry to level 28 for Aerial Ace and go after the first gym, but not without starting my very own Union Circle on stream. 2 of my viewers from the stream joined in and cheered me on as I took on Katie, the local baker who I heard bribes the health inspector to look the other way when he sees bugs in her kitchen. I took down her first 2 Pokemon quickly with Aerial Ace. Finally, Katie sent out her Bugbear. D&D Pokemon crossover? Okay, very cool. 1 Aerial Ace and Teddiursa went down, winning me a dozen glazed crawlers. Get it? Like a bug, because it sounds like crawler? Like the pastry? After my easy victory, I was greeted by my adoring crowd of 1, which actually doubled by the time I got to the second gym. Next, I took on Brashus, an eccentric artist with a love for sunflowers. Okay, Van Gogh, I see you. His first 2 Pokemon suffered a similar fate to Katie's before bringing on the greatest dream of every pseudo-wudo, to be a tree. But 2 more Aerial Aces and Gru went down as well, winning me a Sunflora statue that will only increase in value years after the artist's death. With 2 gym badges in the bag, I had an idea that would change this game like no other in the series. Since I already had to get Iono through a trade from Pokemon Violet,
maybe we could get these Pokemon all through trades. If you 3 want to go and get, or if you already have these Pokemon like a Flabébé, a Crabrawler, a Teddiursa, a Sudowoodo, if you have these Pokemon, maybe we do trades.
And that's what I did. I abandoned all of my research and relied on my viewers to get this challenge done. This is how it all went down. I traded Drivu for Tulip, who needed Psychic, Moonblast, and Petal Blizzard. I traded a random Squawkabilly for Iono, who could learn Hex, Charge Beam, and Confuse Ray. I traded a Growlithe for Katie, Fury Cutter, Fury Swipes, a Makuhita for Brashus, Trail Blaze, Rock Throw, and a Shuppet for Kofu, Crab Hammer, Rock Smash, Slam. This one didn't have Crab Hammer because it didn't learn it as a Crab Brawler, but it was holding a Shiny Stone to evolve Tulip, so that was nice. Now in possession of every available Pokemon, I took a break from trading to evolve Rhyme. And then got right back to it, this time with TMs. I traded a random Surskit for a Cyclizar, holding the TM for Psychic. I traded a Charmander for Kofu, this time with Crabhammer and holding the TM for Hyper Voice. Cyclizar back for an Oranguru holding Hurricane, Oranguru back for a Wiglet holding Hex, and Wiglet back for a Meditite holding Ice Beam. Phew! At this point I was feeling quite a bit overpowered, but I didn't hate it, and everybody in the chat got to help, so that was nice as well. Next I took on Iono, the streamer that went right back to Twitch after her contract was up with YouTube. Her first 3 Pokemon went down to Rhyme's Hyper Voice. I'm starting to see a pattern here. Anyway, next up was the ghost of Thomas Edison. Thanks to Confuse Ray, Miss Magius was able to take out Rhyme, but went down to Brashus and his Rock Throw, winning me 500 bits? Wait, that's it? Come on, at least give some subs. After wiping the floor with Iono's team, I headed to Kaskarafa City to fight Kofu, the head chef at a Joe's Crab Shack. Veluza went down to 2 hyper voices from Rhyme. Wugtrio tried to fight back, lowering Rhyme's accuracy with a couple mud slaps, but 1 good hyper voice and Wugtrio went down as well. Last out was a delicious plate of Alaskan snow crab, who gave me more trouble than I would have liked. Anticipating Crabominable's water Tera type, I sent in Iono to use Charge Beam. It did very little damage before Iono was taken out by Crabhammer. I sent out Brashes hoping for a Trailblaze, but he was just too slow. Now I don't know why, but I thought Swablu would be faster than a Crabominable, so I threw in Grusha to rake in all the experience points. Unfortunately, I was in fact mistaken, and Grusha went down as well. For the poetry of it all, I finally sent in Kofu to take down Kofu. At first, Kofu wasn't listening to me, thanks to it being overleveled, but after surviving a Crabhammer hit, Kofu hit with Rock Smash and ended the match, winning me a free meal at the Kofu Lounge. And that's real, you can look that up, that's really the name of his restaurant. Who eats seafood in a lounge? Lounges are for hookah. I headed over to Medali to take on Larry, a businessman who's not very motivated. When he gets lost in thought, he becomes so still that onlookers begin to worry. Now, I didn't write that one either. That is also from the official Scarlet and Violet webpage. Yeah. Yikes. Larry's first 2 Pokemon went down to Rock Smash, but I had a little more trouble once Larry sent in the most normal flying type Pokemon Game Freak has ever created. Kofu's Rock Smash wouldn't cut it, so he went down to Staraptor's attacks. I sent in an underleveled Grusha, once again thinking I could get a bunch of experience by outspeeding. Yeah, no. But Rhyme came in, survived a facade, and ended the match with Discharge, winning me the promotion that Larry has been waiting 25 years for. That's cool, but God, I don't even work here. Next up is Rhyme, a rapper haunted by the ghost of her dead career. This one was a double battle, so I sent in Grusha and Rhyme against her first 2 Pokemon, Mimikyu and Bayonet. During the first round, Rhyme hit Bayonet with a nasty Hex. Her 2 Pokemon came back with 2 attacks, doing massive damage and lowering our speed, and Grusha missed her Hurricane. For the second round, Grusha went down to their attacks, and Rhyme was left on death's door. Rhyme broke the disguise on Mimikyu because I kinda sorta misclicked when choosing which Pokemon to attack. On the third round, I sent in Kofu. Rhyme was immediately taken out by Shadow Sneak and Bayonet went down to Crabhammer. Fourth round, I sent in Brashes and Rhyme sent out Houndstone. We took very little damage thanks to Houndstone missing Play Rough, but even 2 attacks couldn't take it out. Fifth round, Houndstone was finished off by 1 more Crabhammer from Kofu, while my side only took more damage. With Houndstone out of the picture, Rhyme sent out the ghost of Jimi Hendrix. Toxtricity then took Kofu out, leaving Brashes to do minimal damage back. In the last round, I sent in Tulip. Toxtricity took out both Brashes and his partner Mimikyu with Discharge, before going down to Tulip's Moonblast, winning me 2 tickets to Rhyme's next show. You see, the thing about dead careers is they can always be revived. Believe me, I would know. Up next, I took on Tulip, a failed salesperson from Mary Kay with far too many boxes of mascara in the trunk of her 2005 Honda Civic. Tulip's first choice went down to 2 Hurricanes and a Dragon Pulse from Grusha, but not before taking Grusha into the red. I then sent in Iono to take on her Gardevoir. She did get a Psychic in there, but Iono outsped and delivered 2 Hexes to win the bout. A Spothra was out next, so I sent out 3 different Pokemon that didn't really stand a chance before just sending in Tulip. She knocked out a Spothra with 1 Moonblast. Finally, Tulip sends out Titania, Queen of the Feywilds. Wait, 2 D&D references in 1 video? Incredible. It took a bit more work to take down Florges, leaving us at 3 HP, but 1 Moonblast and 2 Petal Blizzards did the trick, winning me a lifetime supply of eyeliner. Sounds like the perfect opportunity to enter into a late-stage goth phase. Next, I took on Grusha, a snowboarder who got last place in the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics. Frostmoth went down to a quick Rock Throw from Brashes, Beartic went down to 2 Rock Smashes from Kofu, Grusha sent out his buddy Titan to finish off Kofu, but the big guy was no match for Brashes' Rock Throw and Rhyme's Discharge. I decided to send in Grusha to take on its mirror, but with Altaria's Ice Tera type Ice Beam against Grusha's Flying Tera type, he didn't stand a chance. Rhyme then gave it his best shot, but was not faster than Grusha's Altaria. But you know who was incredibly fast on my team? Iono. It only took 3 good Hexes and Altaria went down, winning me free snowboarding lessons? From you? I'll pass. From here on out, I had only one goal in mind. I needed all of my team members' Tera types to match the gym aces. Fortunately, my first one was already out of the way. Brashes was traded to me already having the Grass Tera type. Staraptor was pretty simple to get as well. I just had to replace my current flying Tera type Staraptor with a new normal Tera type Starly. This then meant that I still needed to change the typings of 6 of my Pokemon. The process of changing Tera types is pretty straightforward. Bring 50 Tera shards of the type you desire to the Medali Gym/Cafe, and the chef there, behind the counter, will cook them a life-changing meal to change the type. Now, do you know how you get Tera shards? Well, that's where Tera raid battles come in. Depending on the rating of the raid Pokemon you end up defeating, they will provide you with 1 to 6 Tera shards. Now, if you've been keeping up with the math, then you know that that means to change the Tera types for 6 Pokemon at 50 Tera shards per type change, I need 300 Tera shards. And with 1 to 6 shards per Tera raid battle, I need to take on anywhere between 50 to 300 Tera raid battles. So, that's exactly what I did. For 15 hours over the course of a few days, I collected shard after shard until I got all but 30 Bug Tera shards for Katie, of course. At that point, I recruited the help of one of the viewers that had consistently showed up for the Tera raid battles. Together, we traded Pokemon back and forth holding Tera shards each time until I had all 300. I headed to the Treasure Eatery in Medali City to finish the job.
We got all of them. Perfect. Let's check the Mons. Check summary. As always, Larry has always been a normal type, but Brashus has always been a grass type, but Florges is now psychic. Altaria is now ice. Doctress is a ghost type. This Magic is an electric type. And then if we look in the boxes, Crabominable is a water type. And Teddiursa is a bug type. Oh.
With my goal complete, I headed up the mountain pass to take on the Elite Four. First I took on Rika, the first non-binary coded character I've seen in the Pokemon universe since Gen 7's Alima. Thank you, Game Freak, for your attempt at representation. First out was Whiscash, so I sent in Brashus. Muddy Water hit harder than I expected thanks to me forgetting that Brashus was still a rock type. Brashus hit back with a 2-time special effective Trailblaze before going down to Blizzard. I sent Grusha out next to finish off Whiscash with one good Hurricane. Donphan was about to come out, so I sent in Kofu and used the correct Tera type for the first time. Water Tera Kofu resisted Donphan's Iron Head and brought him down to 1 HP with a boosted Crabhammer. One more, and Donphan was out of the game. Dugtrio met his fate quite quickly with another Crabhammer. Camerupt survived thanks to a missed Crabhammer and took out Kofu. Grusha was out next and took out Camerupt with 3 Dragon Pulses, but not before falling asleep to yawn. Finally, Rika sent in a fish filled with so many microplastics that it has become literally poisonous. A Lucky Protect on the first turn allowed us the time to sleep without taking damage. Grusha then woke up to both take and deal a good chunk of damage. Clodsire then started using Protect paired with a Toxic setup, making it very clear that he was just there to stall me out and piss me off. Fortunately, it just took a few consistent Ice Beams to win me the match. Second up was Poppy, a Pokemon prodigy forced into the workforce at the tender age of 5. Maybe she'll grow up to be a lawyer like the actress from Matilda. Her first Pokemon was Cooperajah, so Kofu took it out with 2 Rock Smashes. Out next was Corviknight, who went down to 2 Discharges. Her third Pokemon was Bronzong, so Iono came out to take it down with 2 Hexes. I left Iono in to take on Magnezone. A few more Hexes left Magnezone in the red before Iono also went down. 2 Discharges from Rhyme and Magnezone hit the floor. Last, Rika sent out, King Dedede, Harley Quinn, I don't know, Reinhardt from Overwatch. I don't know which one to pick, but you get it, the thing's got a big hammer. I sent in Kofu to try for a Rock Smash, but he was immediately taken out. Rhyme went in next to take a Play Rough like a champ and deliver a hefty discharge, paralyzing Tinkaton. Rhyme even got in another discharge before going down. At this point, I took a look at my remaining team members and realized that all of my moves were weak against Steel, and all of my typings and Terror typings would be ineffective as well. I bit the bullet and sent in the Pokemon with the highest power attack I had, Grusha and his Hurricane. 3 shots, and that was all she wrote. Third up was Larry. Again? So you did get that promotion to Elite Four you wanted, but you still have to tend to your duties as a gym leader? Sounds like you got ripped off, buddy. Tropius was Larry's first choice, and since Brashus is a rock type, I knew that Larry would go for a grass type move. Anticipating this, I terastallized Brashus to grass to resist his attacks. Tropius went for Solar Beam, giving Brashus 2 free rock throws. Tropius did set up with Sunny Day, but one more shot and Tropius was out. Staraptor was next, so I sent in Rhyme to take it out with Discharge. Rhyme stayed in to face off against Oricorio, and took her second victim with 2 Hyper Voices. Altaria was coming in next, so I sent in my Terastallized Brashus for Rock Throw. Unfortunately, this Altaria knew Flamethrower, so Brashus went down as well. Grusha was out next for some sweet revenge, and took out Altaria with 2 Dragon Pulses. Finally, Larry sends out Just a Flamingo, the newest addition to Pokemon's Just a Real Animal Club. Grusha then proceeded to live a Brave Bird on 1 HP because he loved me so much, in order to do quite a bit of damage with Ice Beam. Next I sent in Rhyme, who went down to Liquidation, Iono went down to Close Combat, and Kofu went down to a second Brave Bird. It was looking tough. I was down to just Tulip. But Flamigo just used Brave Bird on us and left us with 11 HP, causing it to take its 3rd round of recoil damage and ending the match. The last Elite Four member was Hassel, a guy who refuses to take off his casual Lucius Malfoy cosplay. Hassel sent in Noivern to start off the match, and I sent in Tulip. Noivern hit hard with Super Fang, bringing Tulip to half health, but one good Moonblast and Noivern went down. Next was Dragalge, so I countered with Grusha and 2 good Dragon Pulses. Flapple came out, but immediately went down thanks to a quad-effective Ice Beam. Then came Haxorus, who would take out Grusha on their first attack. I took a gamble and chose Rhyme. She survived a Dragon Claw to use Discharge and paralyze her enemy. With Haxorus speed lowered, Rhyme was able to get a Hex off as well before going down to another Dragon Claw. One more Hex from Iono, and Haxorus was no more. Finally, Hassel sent out... Honestly, it's just a pretty cool looking Pokemon. No, you know what? No complaints. 10 out of 10. Not even gonna make fun of this one. Preparing for this Ice Dragon type, I sent in Kofu, since I forgot that it would be losing its Ice typing through Terastallization. Kofu survived a Glaive Rush to do good damage with Rock Smash and lower Excalibur's defense before going down to a second attack. I then tried for Confuse Ray with Iono. Thanks to that move, Iono was able to get a Hex in before going down. I then sent in Brashus. Confuse Ray didn't keep him from getting attacked, but his insane defense stat kept him alive. One Rock Throw, and the last of the Elite Four was defeated. Finally, I take on Champion Geeta, a kind, caring, pragmatic leader who is both top champion and the chairwoman of the Pokemon League. This whole situation is starting to feel a little rigged. Geeta began with a Spothra, so I started out with Grusha. 2 Hurricanes and a Spothra was blown away. Veluza was out next, but not for long thanks to Discharge from Rhyme. Third up was Avalugg. I sent in Tulip for 2 Moonblasts, and Avalugg blasted off again. King Gambit was out next, so I knew I needed Kofu for Rock Smash. Upon sending him out though, I realized I could then Terastallize Kofu into a Water type, resisting King Gambit's Steel type moves. The plan went off without a hitch. 2 Rock Smashes and King Gambit was crushed to bits. Geeta then sent in her Go-Goat, who would quickly go down to 2 Hurricanes from Grusha. Finally, Geeta sent out a chunk of Calcanthite, a mineral with a flower-like appearance. Geology. Hell yeah. I sent in Brashus first to do a little damage with Trailblaze before going down to Glamora's attacks. I tried for a Petal Blizzard with Tulip, but Glamora was just too fast. I thought I might outspeed with Rhyme, but that didn't work either. I also couldn't outspeed with Grusha, but the friendship mechanic kicked in once again at the very end of the game and kept Grusha up at 1 HP. This allowed him to get off his Dragon Pulse before going down on the next turn. Kofu didn't last very long on his attempt either, and all I was left with was Iono. Thankfully, that was all I needed. 2 good hexes from Iono, and that's the game! As I wrap things up here, I want to give a huge shout out to every single member of the chat that joined into the streams and into the union circles to help me with this challenge. I wouldn't have had any Pokemon, I wouldn't have had any moves if it weren't for you. Or at least I would have, but it would have taken a lot longer. At this point, I want to set a challenge. Let's see how many likes we can get for the Paldean region. I'm thinking maybe 25k. I bet we could get there. We'll see. But as always, remember to comment your favorite part below. Join the Discord to know when I'm streaming. Subscribe if you really want to show your support for my work. And if you dare, share the video with all your Poke Pals. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. I kind of want to play some ROM hacks.